Ooh, Fredo.
Hey, yeah, I'm back into the barricade. What I'm doing, counting up money from this year I made. Last year was a different story, but this year I'm paid. Just do 630 in the club, I let it ricochet. Extreme rules ain't enough, I put him in a cage. Now it ain't nowhere to hide, you about to catch this fade. Hey, if rap was wrestling, I'm in the Hall of Fame. Playing games better acknowledge me like I'm Roman Reigns. Hey, but you can't see me though. Took a break, now the final boss back with the demon flow. The innovator, I just do the stuff that they ain't seen. I'm like the Undertaker, a tombstone to put you where you need to go. A match against me and Dog out for showstopper. I'm in the booth with sweet cheer music, I'm the showstopper. Like the Midnight Express, I'm on the road rocket. They screaming no mas, I'm old mas, dog, I'm a whole problem. You got the money in the bank, I need the whole profit.
Hello, hello, hello.
What's up? What's up?
What's up? Welcome to Taco Tuesday with the NXT gang. It's me, Rudy Peace and Love. And we have, of course, Rolly Ray TV right next to me.
Yo.
And we're just here to talk about NXT. Now, first of all, what did you think of this show? What did you think of this week?
I thought this week was cool. Like last week, just like last week, it was cool. You know, there was a lot of chaos. I think this show tonight was more chaos than last week, so it's cool. It was definitely a good show. I give it probably like I'd say maybe a 3.8. Yeah, 3.8. I was going to round it up to a 4, but I feel like there was still some stuff that really didn't go or fly with me, so I'm like, I'll give it a 3.8. But it was still a good show.
I don't know. I wasn't vibing, man. Like, there were certain things that I liked, I really enjoyed, and I'm going to talk about that when we get to those parts. But there was other parts where I'm like, okay. I see where you're going, but I'm not as interested as I think they want me to be.
Yeah, I feel that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, let's start off. So the show started with the Dawn versus Ridge Holland, and they were going for the North American Championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of stuff happened in this match. Shawn Spears came out of this match eventually, and then he was out there trying to distract the Dawn. I really don't know what his plan was. I think I have a prediction to what it was, because it's not random, some of the stuff that happened in this match, right? And then we had, because the Dawn had his whole family, he had, what's his name? I forget the name. Stax.
Yeah,
and
Stax Lorenzo, Luca. Yeah, Stax.
And
Luca.
he had his, Rizzo. He had Rizzo there, right?
Yep.
And so then Shawn Spears tried to interrupt, and so Shawn's people, Bronson, and he got a new guy now who we saw tonight.
Brooks and what's his name? Nico.
I have it here.
Yeah, Nico.
Brooks Jensen and Vance, right? And so they came and attacked the Dawn family. But then Izzy Dame came out of nowhere while the referee's back was turned and kicked Ridge Holland in the face, right?
Right.
And then Dawn, of course, took the opportunity and he won the match 1-3, right? What did you think about this? Before I give my opinion.
I thought it was, I don't know, strange. It was like the match was going good, and the Dawn was definitely taking it to Ridge. And Ridge was getting his offense in, but with all the chaos that was going on, it kind of threw me off the match. So I'm like, okay, a lot of people are coming out. I understand because this is the D'Angelo family versus Shawn Spears, but then Izzy Dame gets involved, kicks Ridge in the face, and I'm lost because I'm like, what is she doing out here? I'm like, I don't understand why she's out here, but the Dawn got the win. I still don't understand what's going on because at the end they definitely showed the camera on her, put the camera on her, and she said, "Now we're even." And I'm still lost on what he owed her or what she owed him or anything like that. I just was lost. But the Dawn's still the champion, and I'm fine with that because I love the Dawn as the North American champion.
Okay, I think this was his weakest match, defending the North American Championship. Honestly, I think that we built Ridge Holland as a good heel only for this match to be short, then to take a commercial break in the middle, which made it even shorter,
and then to come back.
And then to come back and have chaos. Yeah. And so it didn't feel like this was a match where Ridge Holland should have been taken seriously whatsoever, in my opinion, just because of the way that everything played out. Right? And I don't think that's really right because he's been working really hard on it. I mean, he destroyed the whole Chase University just to get heat. And then he had a match. Yeah, I guess you're right. He got a little bit of offense in there that we saw. But it just was not the best match it could have been.
It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough time. They didn't really give him enough time. So I understand what you're saying, definitely.
It wasn't enough time. And then not just that. I think Izzy Dame has joined Shawn Spears. You know why? Because if Shawn Spears really wanted the Don to lose and all that stuff, I don't feel that he would have done it in this way. You know what I mean? He literally caused a distraction, but nothing was gained from that distraction. You know, besides Izzy Dame, if cut out Izzy Dame, the Don was still in charge. Ridge was not coming back. You could tell he was still not coming back from that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even think he needed Izzy Dame to help him, in my honest opinion.
No, he would have been.
I feel like I get where she was coming from because a few weeks ago, Shawn Spears was bothering her and the Don told him to leave her alone. And that's where she was talking about getting even. I don't think it's that deep that you need to get even. You know what I mean? But I feel like this was done on purpose to keep the title on the Don because Shawn Spears wants to be the one to take it away from him.
I wouldn't mind seeing Shawn Spears as a North American champion. I feel like he would be a good North American champion, especially as the heel that he is. And he's great in the ring. And I feel like he'd be good, but I don't see him. I don't want him to take the championship off the Dawn, at least as of right now. I feel like it could come later. Maybe like stand and deliver.
No, I 100% agree. It should not be now. I think that the Don, to be honest, I've enjoyed his matches. Even when he had the Heritage Cup, I feel like he turned it on to another level. Maybe it was just me, but his matches just kept getting better and better and better. Then he had that feud with Oba. And so now we're having the feud with Shawn. And let that thing just keep simmering and keep going. Like you said, let it go all the way to stand and deliver. And maybe then if you want to drop the title, sure. Maybe drop it on Shawn Spears. But I'm going to tell you, I think Izzy Dame has switched sides. Either that or we're going high school again and he's going to date it. It's going to be one or the other. You know, it's either she switched with Shawn Spears or that's going to be his new girlfriend. That's where I see, because they were having a whole conversation backstage forever. And that's what got him distracted. But we'll talk about that later. You know, we'll talk about that, when we get there. Yeah. But I didn't like this match. I understood why we did what we did, but it could have been done a completely different way. First of all, the Don Factory wasn't even doing anything. They could have attacked them backstage. You know what I mean? This could have been a whole backstage thing.
Yep.
But, we chose to do it how we did. It is what it is. But the Don won, and I'm happy for that too. I think we should keep the title on him for a while. He's been doing a good job with it.
Yeah, and his character is just great. So it's needed for him to be a champion because, one, if you don't put a championship on him with that type of character, he's the Dawn of NXT. He needs some type of gold. And he had the tag titles already. So I feel like it was just only the matter of time that they had to put some singles gold on him. And I'm glad they did it with the North American champion. And
I'm glad they did it against Oba.
Yes. Yeah.
Because to be honest, Oba has been undefeated. Like he started with, he was the breakout star, right? And he got that contract. So he really has only suffered those 2 losses. And that's it. And that's where we want it to be because we have to still have someone strong enough to beat Oba. If he ever drops the title, that could be his next thing. Yeah. So, we have to wait and see, but I think the Don is fine.
Yeah.
He'll be fine. A lot of backstage. Okay? A lot. So we had Tyson, sorry if I say names wrong. You could correct me. Tyreek, West, Lennox, and then Trick got in there in the end, right?
Yep.
The only reason I want to mention this is because Trick slapped West so hard. Yo, I could hear it. So it's like I was in the room. And I just wanted to call that out because he didn't even let West, his attitude has changed. He's angry now. And he didn't even say a word. He didn't even let West finish his sentence before he went, I'm gonna put you in your place.
He smacked West's sentence right out of his mouth. It didn't even get to be completed. That's all.
Exactly. I just want to mention that because I thought that was like beautiful.
Yeah.
West deserved it though. West deserved it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we have Bayley promo in the ring. I have a lot to say. So I'm gonna let you go first on what you thought of this whole entire segment.
What I thought of this whole entire segment was, one, I like Bayley's promo. Okay, I like when she came out. It seemed like she was actually able, like this week she did a better talking than she did from previous weeks. I felt like she got her promo down, so she was on it. Had a good promo. Then Julia came out and basically talked up Bayley, talking about how Bayley, is a role model to her. Roxanne doesn't look up to her anymore, but I do. Julia says she does. And I'm like, okay, I expect that from Julia, She says she always wanted to be here in WWE just because of Bayley. So I'm like, that's cool. But when Roxanne and Cora Jade came out there, the whole segment took a turn because the fans took over. I didn't like it at all because they didn't get to talk. I was just trying to hear them talk. I was like, they were so loud. They didn't stop. It was horrible. And then not only that, but you can tell they were kind of flustered and they were kind of messing up, losing their lines. They were just taking back all of that. Yeah, threw them way off. So I'm like, okay, yeah, this ruined the segment. I wish they would have just eventually quieted down so we can get the furthering of the story, but no. And that's what made Bayley like, okay, I'm gonna have to call an audible and just attack them and just cause a brawl. And that's what happened. Unless the brawl was supposed to happen later on, I think they're probably going to do it later on. They just jumped to it. But yeah, it was a segment. That's all I got.
Listen. I think what's going on with me is that I'm tired of Bayley on SmackDown. And so seeing her all over the place, because SmackDown's a different show, but just to connect it, she's been in the main event picture of SmackDown for how long now? And I'm just kind of a little bit tired of her because she hasn't accomplished nothing. You know what I mean? And so then she comes over to NXT, and I feel like this is good for Roxanne because she's gonna beat Bayley. There's no way that you're not gonna have her beat Bayley, right? And I'm happy to see Roxanne. She was on SmackDown, she was on Raw, and now she's on NXT. So she's being pushed through the main rosters. Positive, love it. This segment was ass. Mind my French. It was ass. Okay, this was garbage. This was trash. And I agree that it was because the fans blew it. But let me start from the beginning. Bayley had a promo. She loves NXT. This is my home. Yada yada yada. Right? Cool, coolio, great. As soon as she says Julia's name, Julia comes out for no reason but to say, Bayley, I love you too. That's good to see you, girl. I'm a fan, right? Yeah. And of course, Roxanne and Cora Jade walk out. I already don't like Cora Jade. I don't think she's really that great on the mic. I don't think she's just really that good yet. Her wrestling, okay. She's still not that high caliber wrestler. But she's in developmental for a reason. That's why this is the first time I felt like we were in a developmental show, right? And so then they're all like, they got that heat. They got that Dominic Mysterio heat.
Yeah.
And they couldn't handle it. And I don't know why the mics are not loud here. Like I feel like if you have a microphone, you should be able to kind of come over the crowd, but it just wasn't happening. And so they were trying really hard. I give them that for pushing through, right? I give them that for pushing through. But Julia is in a group setting again. Why are you here?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. This is the exact same feud. Only just replace Booker in Bayley's place.
Yep, it is. Yep.
You've been here. You've been here, girl. Why are we still here? Why is this still a thing?
Yeah, she's the champion now. We're supposed to be moving on to singles feuds. And yeah, I don't know what they plan on doing. It's going to be a tag team match, definitely. Obviously.
I already know it's next week in Atlanta. And I understand, I thought maybe we were gonna get Julia versus Bayley. I was like, okay, we can do as an admiration, you are my role model, and now it's time for me to beat you.
Respect.
But then Roxanne and Cora Jade came out. I was like, why can't we move on from this?
I understood Roxanne Well, Cora being by her side after Cora has been teased to be Masha Slamovich's opponent somehow. So I thought she was going to be over in TNA for a little while. Not here. But no, she's here still with Roxy. I'm like, okay, it makes no sense. But
it was just for the tag match. It was just for the tag match. Personally, I don't care for this match. I really don't care for this match. Some of y'all might get angry at me, but I would really like Julia. You know, I understand maybe she's still learning WWE style of wrestling because she's coming from Japan. They have a harder hitting style, you know, so, and then, you know, you have the language barrier, even though I think she did pretty well. I understood everything she was saying, and she said full sentences. You know what I mean? And it wasn't just one. She had a whole paragraph that she said. So I think she did very well. I just think that we already don't know her. I don't know you, girl. I don't know you. All I see you do is wrestle the same people. And your matches with Roxanne were the first one was really good. The second one was not great. Okay? We need to see you beating your own opponents. You know, we don't need to see you having all these tags. I need you to be, unless you're a transitional champion, Julio, that's fine. But if you're gonna have long, but if you're gonna have a long title reign, you gotta beat single opponents. Okay, you gotta build other people, Roxy, other than Roxy. You know, unless she has like that contractual, you know, rematch thing, you know, but I thought NXT is different than the main roster. I know in the main roster is not like that.
I don't think
unless you have that, and if you do, get it over with. You know, because I don't see her dropping the title to Roxy, like I said, unless she's transitional. But why? Roxy's been showcased on the main roster so often. I'm pretty sure that's where she's gonna be. Just let her wrestle other opponents. That's all I'm saying. Like, we need to see her with other people.
Yeah, I see Roxy. I don't think she's going to wrestle Julia again. I think she's going to probably wrestle Bayley.
And I would like to see that.
It's probably going to be at Vengeance Day, maybe. And that's what they're pulling for right now. So probably after that tag match that they have in Atlanta next week, they'll probably start building to this feud for Bayley and Roxy at Vengeance Day. And that'll be her send-off match to the main roster. That's what I feel like it's going to happen.
Maybe it could, as long as she beats Bayley. In this one, she has to be Bayley.
Yes, she does.
That's just my opinion. Like, she's been built very strong. She had a match on Raw, her first ever Raw match against Natalya, but she won.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like she's been kind of protected. You don't get that a lot from the NXT stars. Most of the time, they gotta go up and they're like, you know, you gotta make it however you're gonna make it. Some have been protected. Roxanne is one of them, and I feel like if we're gonna keep building her this strong, she's gonna have to be Bayley. You know, unless that's gonna be her quest, her main quest. Is to beat Bayley because Bayley beat her. But this just wasn't for me, and I'm just gonna say, how random was it to have a segment in the middle of this brawl with other women talking about the brawl, and then going back to the brawl? And then it kept going in the commercial.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we just didn't have time, so we're just gonna put a random. They had a whole conversation. I don't know who it was. Was it? I think it was this the Jada Parker one?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Yeah, Jada Parker, Kalani, Carmen. Oh, by the way, I wonder if with Carmen Petrovich we're gonna have that. Remember how you had Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis, and they were all about the power of love? I wonder if we're gonna get that from her, because she's like love. So I'm like, okay, maybe we're gonna be doing like a modern version of the power of love here. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I was like, why is this in the middle of a brawl? And then people still can't mind their business with Kalani. Certain times, I think some heels are right. In my opinion, you know, I'm gonna say this with all my chest. Drew McIntyre is correct.
Yeah.
Completely 100% agree. Man hasn't told a lie, except when he said that it was the fans' fault. We didn't need that part. Everything else was correct. I think Kalani is completely correct in being upset. How come Lola can go around beating up whoever she wants? I don't, you know, and then they're holding her back. Like, when did this become the safest locker room in the world?
Yeah, everybody trying to turn over a new leaf or something.
She should go to the parking lot.
We haven't seen a parking lot beat down in Sensoria, so I mean, yeah.
Let it be
Be cool,
Kalani.
man.
Let it be Kalani. Let her whole aggression go. But I know I have lots. I have lots to say. But it's just because I'm passionate about it, and I want to see good matches. Like the NXT title, Bayley was right about that. Has a legacy.
Yeah.
It has a really strong legacy, and so it's a lot of shadows. It's a lot of big shoes to fill, and I just want that for Julia. I don't know you, but I hear you're great. I just want to see how great you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. But before I continue, I think no, not yet. We got like 2 more minutes. We got 2 more minutes, right? So then we had Lennox versus Wesley. Blink if you miss it. Blink if you miss it. This is one of those matches that you go get a sandwich and it's done. Okay? Literally done. So I feel like with this match, it was what it was. I think we're trying to get Lennox to have a bit more of an aggressive side. Because he's been like Dante's best friend forever. And he was in that mix. Yeah. Now he's more like, one day I want to be a champion. One day I really want to get there. And that's how we got here. Because Wesley's like, I actually have those accolades. You don't. Mm-hmm. And we gave him a little bit of offense. And then I feel like Wesley kicked him in the face. It was 1, 2, 3.
Literally.
A
cardiac kick right across right in his face, and then that was it. And then I guess Wesley came, calling Trick Williams out, and Trick came out and they brawled too. But Dion, as soon as Trick walked out the ring after they brawled, he basically bumped Dion, and you could see the look on Dion's face, like he didn't like it at all. He was very upset and very mad. You can see that aggression is starting to come out of him. So you're right, definitely. They're trying to make him look more aggressive and be more aggressive.
I think that's what we need to be.
Yeah.
Because I feel like NXT has a tendency of the first time you meet their wrestlers, they're very happy to be here. They're joyful to be your friend. They're everybody's best friend. They just want to learn. It took Lennox not that long to realize I want to do things on my own. I don't want to deal with no more drama. I want to make a name for myself here.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're doing with him. And putting him in a match with Wesley, who's very extremely talented. I think he's going to gain more experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, the matches are short, but again, he's still learning. And now Wesley has a whole crew. He has a whole crew with him, And I did like that Trick Williams came out. He said, you want me? I got you. You want the smoke? I got the smoke. Every day of the week. I'm right here. And he beat him, and he's going to beat him again. Because I think they have a match next week.
Yeah, and we didn't get a long promo, like, a promo from Trick Williams where he was just talking and saying his one-liners and stuff like that. We ain't get none of that. We just got him agreeing into the match, and that was it. I like it.
That's what we needed. Like, it's okay to be different. Like, especially since he lost the title. Can't be happy. Nah, you should be angry. You should be more aggressive. You should want to beat everybody who's talking out of their mouth about you. You know what? He just lost his title, and now you want to come at me? You've never even been a world champion, so I'm confused. You know what I mean? And so I do like Wesley getting into this position. I feel like poor guy, when he was such a role when he was the North American champion, then he got injured, and then he came back, and I feel like we kind of had him almost trying to get a title, and now he's trying to find a place. Like not that he doesn't have a place like that, but I feel like he's trying to cement something here. He's not floating aimlessly yet. He's just trying to put the pieces together again.
I just feel like they put him in that role of, okay, you had your moment for a little while, but now we got to let other people shine. So, you got to take a few losses. You got to, go down to the bottom of the barrel and work your way back up. He's doing in that role right now. But honestly, I feel like he's overdue for the main roster. That's just me. I feel like Wesley's been down there for a minute since MSK, since being in North American champion, longest reigning before Obafemi. I feel like he literally just needs to be up on the main roster now. Go up there with Carmelo and prove yourself up there. He's great. A great in-ring talent.
But that's what happens when you have such a congested roster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
NXT is very congested, but the main rosters are really, really congested right now with people.
Yeah.
But I do agree that it is time for him to do something else. Don't get me wrong. I guess we're making him a mentor now, but he needs to have more direction.
Yeah.
Like, I agree that he should have more direction. Whether it be going to, I never put any NXT people on Raw. Put them on SmackDown. They'll always grow on SmackDown. They will always have more opportunities on SmackDown. Look at Carmelo Hayes. You know what I mean? We could put him in there, though. We could put him for that U.S. title.
Yeah.
You know, we could do a lot with him. The only fear I would get is that he would get lost in the shuffle. And that's the only fear. Some people do, and Wesley is way too talented to be lost in the shuffle.
Well, since SmackDown's on this 3-hour thing now, I mean, there's a chance he might not be lost in the shuffle, especially if they're going to put him straight into the mid-card picture. There's so many mid-card guys on SmackDown. Like, there's not so many, but there's like a select few of mid-card guys on SmackDown. So it'd just be them running it in, like Andrade, Wesley, Carmelo,
LA Knight.
Yeah, LA Knight, Shinsuke, you know, just those guys. And then
I feel like it's
else.
only the same 5.
Yeah, that's why they need more.
That's why they need more. That's why they put the title on Nakamura, because LA Knight fought the same 4 people over and over again. Yep. They needed something fresh. Now, I do want to ask you a question. This is really random, though. It's just me. For Wesley's entrance, doesn't that sound the remix of the Rascals entrance?
It does.
Right? Like, I was listening to it, and all I could hear was the Rascals. I'm like, oh, okay. We're remixing it. We're remixing it. You left them, but you were still using their music. Well, just
a remix version, basically kind of throwing salt in the wound of what he did to, Zachary Wentz.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, it was great. Don't get me wrong. I'm just like, it was great. But this match was short. It was all about Triple. Lennox got an opportunity to have some TV time and learn most of it. And then he came out later in a segment, very short, right? Where he was just cursing. He was like, done with this place. F this. So, and then it went through a lot of people after that. But let's see where we go with Lennox. Now, we did have a Stephanie interview about Fatal Influence, right? Again, a lot of backstage messages. All I have to say is I love what she says. Like, you could tell she reminds me of Thunder Rosa.
Exactly.
In that she's a woman that can kill you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because she, Thunder Rosa is from the graveyards of Mexico. And she's over here like, don't mess with the devil. Like, I wrote it down. You will meet hell, right? And then she was like, well, I don't remember that. But I remember she said demonio. She said devil. You're going to meet the devil if you mess with me. You know what I mean? And so it's just like, I feel like she has that I'm going to kick your ass. Like Jada Parker has that too.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you even look wrong in her direction, she's going to hurt you. And I see that from Bakur. And I mean, I thought she would have a language barrier thing too. Very, very,
They seem like they seem like their English, her and Julia's English is definitely getting better. Because I know Julia, she studies English. She actually sits home, like when she's not wrestling or anything, she's literally just studying her English and learning the language. So I understand why her language is getting better. Stephanie, I feel like she's always pretty much known how to speak English, just somewhat, but she's getting better by her teaching or learn how to speak English too. I could tell. So.
I wonder if she's gonna go through every member of the Fatal Influence, before she can even get to Fallon Henley.
That would be probably ideal. What they should do, because Fallon is hiding, and if she's going to be hiding, then you have her fight JC Jane, you have her fight Jasmine next, and then you take them both out just to lead to her fighting Fallon and getting that North American Championship.
Exactly. I think that's where we're headed here. But I like that. Give her something to do. At first I was upset that she didn't get that title shot, even though she earned it. But then I'm like, you know what? We're making her run for it. We're making her earn that. We're making her literally have to climb her way there if she gets the title, And I think that's how we should build her. She should be able to bulldoze through the whole Fatal Influence, but JC Jane's gonna turn on Fallon Henley.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can see that a mile away. Either if she loses the title to Book her, she gonna beat her ass and be like, "You were supposed to be with the title." You know, I knew I should have been champion the whole time.
That's because they see how Fallon is too wrapped up in the title.
Yeah.
When they talk about like the Fatal Influence, we talk about the group. They're talking about the group. She's always worried about the championship. Like, okay, you're getting a little too arrogant, a little too cocky, and a little too like you're the leader of this group.
Mm-hmm.
So we're supposed to be equals. And it's not working like that. And I feel like they're going to eventually turn on her, or no, they're definitely going to turn on her. I ain't even saying or. They're going to turn on her.
Yeah, they're going to turn on her. She's going to bring Jamie Nick with her because that's her bestie. Yeah. She brought Fallon in there, okay?
Yep.
So I don't see that happening. But right now we are going to take a break to hear from our sponsors. We are going to start with Dating with Rep Talk, okay? And you will see all her information on the screen. And of course, these are for singles, for couples, and for conversations that no one wants to have. You know, it's an amazing dating opportunity. And you can see all her handles there if you want to follow her. I think, you know, if you're interested, this is amazing.
Been going strong since 2020. So definitely get with Reptar and, you know, take part in this opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Now we're going to hear from some of our other sponsors as well.
Yo, FTW gang. I know it's a little different seeing your boy Mr. FTW not what behind the bright lights with his championship belt. I'm in the car. I'm in the FTW bucket, man. With that being said, I gotta let you guys know. Yes, shout out to Real. But yes, that being said, here, 5 to 7 business days a week. If you want to be a paid sponsor, all you got to do is hit me up, man. We run live 5 through 7 business days a week, and we go live on 5 different platforms, gang. 5 different platforms you can go out there and reach, you know what I'm saying, really reach the numbers you really want to reach. Let us help you do that. And with that being said, man, I always want to give a shout out to all our sponsors. So shout out to all the paid sponsors if you are a paid sponsor already. And shout out to the ones that are out there that's going to become a sponsor in the future. And with that being said, man, it's your boy, Mr. FTW. I don't want to hold up any more of your time. So we're going to play these paid sponsors.
Down M13 through Genesee, I-75 is the home for me. Welcome to Saginaw, Saginaw, Saginaw. Down M13 through.
Can be, and as you already know, that is Matt's Wrestling Collectibles right here on YouTube. Today, guys, a milestone video, a huge video, one that I was talking about a few videos back, a few new figure pickup videos back. We were talking about this right here. It is none other than episode 50 of New Figure Pickups. It is crazy to think that this YouTube started back up again after so many years of being away. We started back up in June of 2022. Here we are, a little over 2 years later, 50 episodes later of New Figure Pickups. I told you guys it was going to be a good one. It was going to be a big one. We're going to try to make sure that we don't make this.
Hello, we're back. You know, I'm so happy guys to hear from our sponsors, and let's just continue to talk about NXT.
Yep.
Now, the next match that we have is Lexis King versus Charlie Dempsey for the Heritage Cup. You know, Charlie Dempsey came out with, you know, the new tattoo. Now, I think this was my favorite match of the night. I really do. Let me tell you that. Let me make sure I'm saying this right. Underhook, or that little butterfly suplex that Charlie Dempsey did, was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, with the bridge. Yeah, that was nice.
It was gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
Now, I feel like with Lexis King, we've been getting like this storyline, right? I don't want to be my daddy. And his daddy apparently was a cheater and a liar and not a nice guy.
A loose cannon, yeah.
And so I feel like in this match, he decided who he wants to be.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Do I want to be the guy who wins honorably, who fights and wrestles honorably, but loses matches? Or do I want to be my daddy and win matches and have belts? You know what I mean? I think he made a choice in this match. What did you think?
You're definitely right. He was wrestling with it. He was fighting with it the whole match, because there was the brass knucks in the bucket, and each time they went to, you know, he got the fall or the round was over, he would go right over to the bucket and still fighting that urge to grab the brass knucks. And he even put them in his hand at one point. Was about to use them, but he's like, no, I'm not going to do it that way. And I'm like, okay, he's definitely wrestling with this, wrestling with the thought of being the cheater, being the one who does underhanded tactics just to win.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, but I'm hoping that he wasn't going to take that, you know, that route. But he did. He ended up low blowing while the referee had his back turned because they pushed him into a corner. He low blowed Charlie Dempsey and still is the Heritage Cup champion. Now, you know, I'm not mad at it. I like Lexis King as a face, and I was hoping to keep him as a face. But if you want to be like his dad, hey, apple don't fall too far from the tree. That's cool, whatever.
You're absolutely right. Actually, I didn't mind him being a face. I do agree that it was interesting because I think he can play both roles very well.
Yeah.
And he was trying to have a redemption arc, right?
Yeah.
But I really, first of all, I enjoyed the wrestling in this match. And I enjoyed the time that it was given. Okay, because this was for the Heritage Cup. This is the third match that they had. 1, 2. Then they had the 1 fall one, and then we had this is the fourth match that they've had. The fourth match that they had, and I will say I do see a lot of parallels to the Ridge Holland storyline. You know what I mean? Because he was also like, oh, you know, I'm not that guy. I want to be great. And that's why he joined Chase U in the first place. Yep. So I see a lot of similarities here. 2 different reasons why they are who they are, though. And I think that there are no excuses.
No.
You can't. Before it was like, oh, I didn't know. Oh, it was Regal who hit me. Oh, you know, all these things.
But now
it's like, no, I made a conscious decision to low blow you so that I can keep the Heritage Cup. You know what I mean? And I wonder if William Regal is going to come back.
It's crazy because what had me, it was weird because when I seen the brass knucks, I'm thinking, oh, wow, Warren Regal definitely put that in there to try to entice, you know, Lexis King. But I'm like, maybe he didn't. Maybe Lexis put that in himself. I don't know. I'm like, because after that happened, after he low blowed him, I'm like, okay, maybe he set this whole thing up.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing. And I'm like, I don't know. If it was Regal who enticed him to basically make that decision, basically be like the devil on his shoulder, to be like, okay, do it. You know you want to do it. And he definitely did it. And he screwed his own son, if that's the case, which is insane. But yeah.
No, because, you know, William Regal is who started this.
Yeah.
Because Lexis King was okay. He wasn't cheating. He wasn't thinking about cheating until he asked Regal to be in his corner. And that's where everything started.
Literally.
And you know, that's where he started really struggling to figure out what he wanted to do. And once he won that Heritage Cup and he felt how good it was to be a winner and to have an accolade, it was too enticing for him to say no.
He became addicted.
You know? And we can always try to do the redemption arc again. This could be a thing that it could be for a while where he is always struggling. Like right now, he's a heel, you know, and he decided on it. But then maybe he gets humbled and he's like, you know what? Maybe I should have kept going. maybe even if I lost the Heritage Cup, who would I, what man could I have become? What kind of wrestler could I have been if I hadn't just let myself be enticed?
Yeah.
So I mean, I like it. I like where we're going. I like seeing him as a face, and I think we're gonna see him as a face again. But let him be a heel. Let's see what kind of matches he's gonna have now.
I like seeing his story in general. His story in general has been great. It's been one of the best things on NXT. So I like that they've been keeping up with how great his story has been. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next, because now he's a heel now. And he wasn't liked as a heel at first. And if you think about it, since he did that, low blow, Charlie Dempsey, now you got Dante Chen and all the people who are rooting for him and literally on his side, being his friends. It's going to be interesting to see what they say to him backstage next week or whenever we see Lexis King again. So,
yeah, and I think it's going to be interesting what Lexis King is going to say. I wonder if he's going to be delusional. And he's going to erase it from his memory and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. What low blow? I want that match clean. If the referee didn't see it, then it don't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting where he goes. I do think that this story has been good, and I think the matches have been good too.
Yes.
I really do. So I'm happy to see. And I wonder where Charlie Dempsey's going to go from here, because he can't go after that Heritage Cup anymore. It's been 4 times. And we've seen good matches, but now we need a little bit of a breath. Maybe he's gonna be like a rotation, and we're gonna see Rance Sinclair try to go after a title again, or we're gonna see the other 2 members of the North Dakota Clash crew try to go back into title contention. Because I feel like there has to be a rotation here. It can't always be about Charlie Dempsey and the Heritage Cup. So maybe this ended that story for now, and because he's gonna have to go back to the end of the line. Maybe he can go after the North American Championship again.
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. He may be the Dawn's next challenger since Rich Holland is out the picture. If he is out the picture.
Yeah, just because I think he's grown since the last time we've seen him go against the Dawn. Because I know they had a whole thing, and that's how he started getting himself into that leadership role.
Yeah.
So we're going to see. But this, I'm excited for.
Definitely.
Yeah. Now, after this, we have more backstage segments. Okay, I'm gonna go through them fast. We had Nathan and Axiom interview. They were talking about how they're gonna be in TNA, going to the Rascals, because we just saw them. We just saw them in Genesis. I'm cool with this. I think this is gonna be a really good match.
Oh, yeah.
4 very fast people and high flying people in one match. I think we're going to see something great. And in TNA, we're going to see something great.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do want to talk about is Josh Briggs. And now he has, Yoshiki? Did I say it right?
I don't even know. I'm still learning his name, honestly. I'm still kind of getting used to who he is.
I'm still learning. The one thing I'm going to have to say about this Josh Briggs thing is, didn't you break up with your bro, who was your bestie, because you wanted to go on your own?
Yes.
And now all of a sudden, you're again in a tag team? That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I guess it meant like maybe he just didn't want to be with them. That's kind of shady.
Yeah, right?
It seemed like that's what it is. He didn't want to be with them no more. He wanted to go his own way. This group was pushing and holding him down. That's probably just literally what it was. And he wanted to go with somebody else who was probably going to give him tag team gold, because they wasn't winning that.
That's true. They wasn't winning nothing. And now, we're going to talk about his partner, because he's going to have a match, right?
Yeah.
But I just find that very interesting, because I'm like, you left.
Yeah.
A whole tag team. But I guess you're right. Maybe he just didn't want to be there anymore. We're going to see what happens here, because he's back in the tag team division. and they're going to go against OTM, because, OTM came and they started fighting again. But you know what? Nathan has a point. How are you going to get in front of the line when you haven't earned it?
Literally hasn't earned not a title shot at all. So it makes no sense.
You haven't beaten nobody. I still haven't seen. I only saw you in that was it the Gauntlet or the Rumble or
Yeah.
something that they
Yeah,
did?
The tag team turmoil gauntlet or something like that, or tag team turmoil battle royal, something like that.
Something like that. I only saw you there.
Yeah.
So we still haven't even seen how your tag team gels. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Nathan's right. He's absolutely right in ignoring him. OPM, they started brawling. Then and then we had this when I feel like I missed the match because we had the Dawn people.
Oh yeah. Luca and Stacks against Briggs. Not Briggs. Brookston.
I got it. I found my way.
Yeah.
I got it. I went far ahead. That was my problem because I really want to talk about that. But we had the Bianca and Naomi promo backstage about their tag team championship match that's coming up next Tuesday in Atlanta.
Yep.
Hopefully it's better than their first match. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
And then we had, go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm saying I was going to say that they're definitely going to get more time. This ain't the main roster. This is NXT. You know, they prioritize their women. So it's about to be a great match. Definitely.
Oh my God, let it be great. Let it be amazing. Let it be amazing. And then we had Carmen Petrovic with Ashanti, you know, the power of love, versus Jada Parker. Let me tell you something. I called this from a mile away. I knew exactly what was going to happen. Did you know too?
A little bit. I've seen that, you know, I remember that she attacked Kalani, or she messed with Kalani at the beginning of the show. So I'm like, there's no way that Kalani is not going to come out here, especially after she's been doing this aggressive side lately. She's going to stick her nose in this match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was just waiting for it to happen.
I was waiting for it too. I was like, is Carmen going to win this match? You know, because Kalani was mad. And then there was a backstage segment with like Dr. Chase, and she was listening to him when he was like, you should just break up and just take care of yourself. Forget anybody. She was listening to everything that Chase said.
I know, I've seen that.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I feel like she's going to do something, especially because Parker got in her face. And Kalani's showing a whole new aggressive side where she's like, I'm not the one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know who you think you're talking to, but I know it ain't me. And so she has that new attitude where she's trying to show people you can't just mess with me and think there are no consequences to your actions. So the match itself was fine. You know, I don't think it was a bad match. It's not the best match, but it accomplished what it wanted to accomplish. Carmen got a win. Who knows how long it's been since we've seen this girl win a match. Literally. Right? The power of love. And now, you know, but it was because of Kalani. Kalani, you know, interrupted Parker because Parker was about to do that hip attack on her face and she got stopped by Kalani. And Kalani was just talking smack to her the whole entire time. And then Carmen was able to roll her up and got the win. Parker was mad.
I know Jada's probably sick and tired of people literally interfering, or not interfering, but kind of costing her match. Like first it was Lola, then Lola, then now it's Kalani. Like it's just, can people stop? Like let me get my wins. But I understand because she did talk stuff to Kalani. She got in her face, but you know,
she got to her mouth.
That's just Jada Parker. That's Jada Parker being in her element. So I mean, they gotta understand. That's just how she is.
It's true. You're absolutely right. That is who she is. We wouldn't like her if that's not who she was. Yeah. If she wasn't confrontational all the time. If every little thing didn't make her want to kill you. You know what I mean? It's who she is. So it's her character. But she shouldn't be getting angry. You should know the consequences of your actions.
Yeah, especially saying like, what are you doing out here? You knew what she was doing out here. And you knew why she was out there. You knew what you did earlier. Don't act like you know you're innocent in the situation. You're not innocent. It happened. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to their match because I feel like Jada Parker has improved.
She's great in the ring. You can tell that she got better. Her pacing is better. Her selling is better. Even though her moves, like her move set, her move repertoire is just better. She's definitely good in the ring, and she also knows how to play to the camera and play to the fans more. So she
thrives in handicap matches, but I do think that she has gotten better in a normal match. And I really want to see that improvement because I felt like her and Roxy's match, when she had that match, she wasn't ready for that. I didn't enjoy that match at all. And I like Jada Parker a lot. But I feel that she's grown a lot since then. And this could be where she showcases that improvement. Because you can't have a hardcore match every single time for every single opponent.
Yeah,
you can't hit everybody with a brick. You know what I mean?
Her and Mia Yim had that as well. I think it was an Extreme Rules or Street Fight match that they had.
It was a street fight.
Yeah, that match was rated 5 stars for one. And it was great. It was great. That match was a banger. And Jada Parker was in the match. I don't know if Mia Yim carried. I don't think she carried. I think they both had a just complimentary match. I think
they had creative spots.
Yeah.
Because that's what we remember from that match is when she went and did that hip attack and literally drove her through that the stage.
Yeah, through the wall.
And she literally threw her right in. She went right in there with her. You know, the one with Lola Vice where she hit her in the face with a brick was very creative.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, you know, we got to get creative with your matches that don't involve a weapon.
Yep.
You know, and I hope that she shows it here because Kalani can definitely hold up a match. You know what I mean? She can carry a match. I've seen her do it very well, especially, you know, she's young.
Yeah.
She's very young. She doesn't have a lot of experience, but when she had all those matches in when she was a North American champion, she carried that match very well.
Yeah. So
I'm hoping to see good things out of both of them here. And that we just get that heel turn.
Yeah. In that match, I don't know. I feel like if they're going to do the heel turn, you do it on somebody who's a face.
Yeah.
Definitely. You attack one of the faces, and I don't know who she would even attack. Like, it's
attack Sol Ruca.
I haven't seen Sol in.
Yo, they're the ones holding her back. You didn't see her. First of all, I don't know why Zaria's here. She's not your friend. You don't even know Kalani to be putting your hands on her and restraining her. You know what I mean? But I think she should attack Sol Ruca. But we already saw a match between them.
Yeah. If anything, I think she should attack Carmen.
Okay, we could do Carmen. We could start from, I don't want to say the bottom, but yeah, we could start from the bottom.
The reason why I say that is because it seems like she's her friend and everything like that. So I feel like if you're going to attack somebody, you're going to attack your friend. The one who you helped out in the match against Jada, you attack your friend.
And to put the little cherry on top, flirt with her man.
That would be, that would be crazy.
Become a Nikita Lyons. You know what I mean? The amount of heat for trying to separate the power of love. I'm sorry for not saying that. I just can't help it. I can't help it. But no, I do agree that she does have to attack a face. Jada Parker, I think, is a tuner. I know they want her to be a heel, but the fans are way behind her for her to be a heel. So I put her as like the anti-hero there. You know, she's someone you want to root for, even though she's not a good person. But she's still very good.
Yeah. So. And the thing is, it's not like she's not like a good person. She's just, like you said, like we said, very confrontational. She just will get in your face. And she's not afraid to step to anybody or tell anybody how they feel or how she feels. She's very blunt. Very blunt. So.
You're absolutely right. She is very blunt. But she and Kalani are gonna have hopefully some good matches. I hope so, because you know sometimes it could be great, and sometimes it could not be great. So we gotta wait and see on that one, right?
Yep.
And then we hit the Meta Girls, right? And we went to the locker room a lot this time, right? We were back in there again, and we were with the Meta Girls, and they were trying to do a promo, but then all the women in the locker rooms were like, I know they don't like them. I know they don't like the Meta Girls, but they were like, you gotta win those titles. You gotta bring it back to NXT. They have to be on this brand. And I'm like, all right. I guess I can understand it so that you guys can get a chance at the titles. I feel like with the many women that you have in NXT, there should be more tag teams than just the Meta Girls and the Unholy Union. Like, look at all the women. Sol Ruca and Zarya may be or may not be. I don't know what that is anymore. You know what I mean? But you had Gigi. You also had Gigi and Tatum. That's a good tag team too. So I just feel like we should be putting a bit more women together, maybe, or maybe not. But it's just you have a big roster here.
Well, if you think about it, there's not only like the people that you see on TV, there's also the people who's training right now, who's can possibly be in tag teams. There's people on Level Up who actually are tag teams right now. So I feel like if they're going to do what I think they're going to do, which is have them win them belts and bring them down here, one, take them off the main roster. They don't need to be up there. There's not that many daggone tag team women on that roster to have them belts up there. So bring it down to NXT. That way you don't have to introduce new belts. You just bring the ones that you already had. They're already kind of cursed. But if you take it down to NXT, I feel like the curse is lifted. You have a lot of tag teams down there. I don't think you're going to get, bad matches. There's a lot of great women down there. The women's division is stacked. So, yeah, I feel like it's the best decision is just bring them down here and take them off the main roster.
No, I agree. But I don't think that they have to be off the main roster. I think that you can bring them down here and they can go to Raw and they can go to SmackDown. I was gonna do like a deep dive, and I wanted to look at the rosters because I don't understand why there's only 5 women on Raw. Not 5 women on Raw, but 5 women on SmackDown, and then 2 women or 2-3 in the mid card. Like that is mind-boggling to me. But I feel like you have tag teams. Actually, I am not a fan of the Pure Fusion Collective storyline. Yeah. But I like Zoe Stark. I like Sonya Deville, and I'm okay with Shayna Baszler. Okay, I'm okay. And they're actually a good tag team. They have the talent. Zoe Stark is amazing in the ring.
Yeah.
You have tag teams. What's that? Carter and Katana. They're a tag team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's another one that I can't even think about in my mind right now.
Damage Control is still a tag team.
I don't want Damage Control in there. They've been in too many things as it is. You know what I mean? Like they've already been there and done that. That's a lot for me to say because I love Damage Control. But I feel like they were the ones who kept getting tag team titles, tag titles. Let's get somebody else. So those are 2 tag teams that are already in that. I feel like there's more, but I just can't remember them. And then on SmackDown, do something with Blair Davenport. Where is Kiana James?
Yeah.
I really thought that they were gonna I was so excited. I thought they were gonna put Blair Davenport with the Unholy Union. And I
thought so too.
I was super excited because I'm like, those 2 ladies are a little bit vanilla to me. Great wrestling, not a lot of personality. Okay. And so I was like, Blair has a personality, okay? That lady has a personality. And I was like, let's put her in there. Let's do something with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we don't have too many tag teams across the board, but if you add those tag teams and the tag teams in NXT, we can get some good matches.
Yeah, definitely.
They have women. It's not a lack of talent here. It's a lack of focus.
Yep. That makes definite sense.
So we'll see what happens with that, but we gotta get that together.
Yeah.
Just thinking about it, I'm like, just give it to them. Let them run wild, because they've already wanted to see how they did on the main roster. It was like a test drive for the Meta Girls, and I think they did good. I think they did good.
Yes,
Lash Legend showed out, and Miss Jackson is catching up. And I think she's caught up actually, because she's been putting her best, and she's been trying to make sure that she gets out of Lash Legend's big shadow.
And she has.
And she's put in the work. Just give it to them already. Let's do something else, because clearly we're gonna do something when Jade comes back. So let's do that. Now, this is the next match. Is Brooks Jensen and Nico Vance versus the D'Angelo family, which is Stax and Luke. This was short. I felt like it was short. I didn't think it was a bad match. I think that it did what it needed to do, was show off Shawn Spears' new group. That was the point in this. And they did it well. And not just that, I felt like we're going somewhere new with the Dawn family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This match and the segment after this match with the Dawn, I was like, okay, we're gonna try to put a little bit more responsibility on the other people in the family. Like,
Yeah.
what did you think?
Well, this is where my TV started acting weird for this channel. Like literally, it was glitching constantly, and it didn't stop for the rest of the show. But I did see part of the match, and I did see who won and the winner and everything like that, and also the segment after the match. I seen that, so I think you are definitely right. I think they're definitely trying to put more responsibility on not the Dawn, more than the Dawn, and putting responsibility on the tag team and Rizzo in general. Like, okay, Dawn can't always be around. He can't always be out there. Y'all have to do it for yourselves. He's the Dawn of NXT. The Dawn, even in like Mafia, the Dawn's not always around his family. Sometimes he's handling business, and that's what the Dawn was doing. He was handling business, so he couldn't watch the match. And, you know, Sean Spears and his new group, they won. But, and that's, I guess, that's going to, it's basically leading the D'Angelo family to literally basically build herself up. Like, okay, we can't rely on the Dawn to be out there. We lost because the Dawn wasn't out there, but it's not his fault that he wasn't there. So we need to basically worry about ourselves. He's the Dawn. He's going to be there sometimes, but not all the time. But we're, you know, his family. We got to put on for the family. So, yeah, this was just basically, like you said, showing off Sean Spears' new group. And I'm not quite sold on Nico Vance yet.
You just met him.
Yeah, he's still got to get warmed up to me. But Brooks is cool. Sean Spears is Sean Spears. But yeah, it was all right for what it was.
Yeah, it did what it had to do. I agree with you. This is where Izzy Dame was flirting with the Dawn, okay? Because they were having a whole conversation there, and he missed that whole match because he was talking to her. And either she did it to distract him, so that you know, Sean Spears' group can win, or she flirting with him. It's one or the other. Because, you know, with NXT, there's love everywhere. And so I think it's one or the other. I feel more like Izzy Dame is playing the Dawn. I think so. And I think she already joined Sean, and she's already working for him. And she's trying to get everything in place so that his group does the best they could do. And one of it was to distract him so that their team can win. Now, definitely. I do agree that they're going to have to figure this out by themselves.
Yeah.
The Dawn, first of all, he has his own title. He can't be worrying about you guys when you are supposed to be handling business. You know what I mean? He trusts you to handle business.
Yes, that's
shouldn't need him there. That's your job.
Yeah.
So we'll see where this leads to, but I think we're gonna see them step up.
Definitely.
They need to step up. Now, I already kind of went ahead because I went through my notes backwards. So we already talked about Lexis King. We already talked about Bakr. And we already talked about Axiom and Nathan and Josh Briggs and Cookie. We already talked about that. They had a Ethan Page promo. I like Ethan Page is where he is. I think this is where he should have been. I have no problem with this. You know, he's gonna break Javon's jaw again. That was basically what he said. He said, "Come at me, and I'm not just gonna hit you once. I'm gonna hit you over and over again until you can't." Right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And then after that, we had Javon talking with Ava, and Ava's like, "Oh, you can't. You're medically cleared because your jaw's still broken, right?" But Cedric Alexander is cleared
with his hand still in the cast. Like, okay, I guess he's cleared.
But he's clear. Maybe he's gonna break his other hand now.
Yeah, no, or he's going to literally target that bad hand too. Like, okay.
What if he breaks his jaw?
Take away his smile. That's crazy.
Yeah. What if he's like, you know what? You want to come back? I already warned you by breaking your arm. Now I'm gonna do to you what I did to your friend. I'm gonna take away your smile. Why are you still smiling? I broke your arm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's some serial killer type stuff.
But I think that's what we're building him to be. He said, you know, he said Dante Chen decided he wanted to stand up to me, right? So I broke his leg. Where he's standing now? Nowhere. That's literally what he said. So he's a little bit like Dexter right now. But like, you know, the bad one.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I don't mind this for him. I think he needed to do something else. I think he needed to do something new. I think he had to explore a different character in NXT. Because, you know, we've seen him, even though some people may not, I've seen him in TNA. And he has always been like this. You know what I mean? He's always willing to hurt you if you need to. He's just taking it to a whole new level now.
Yes, definitely took it to a whole nother level.
Mm-hmm. And so then, whatever, Austin Theory, Waller, and Ava. That's next week's work. That's next week. They're going to be the Waller effect with Oba Femi, who we know was going to win. It was not a shocker. So now we're going to do Oba versus Eddie Thorpe for the NXT title. What did you think about this match?
I thought it did what it needed to do, make Oba Femi look strong as a champion. I thought Eddie Thorpe put up a valiant effort, a fight, and he was, even though he was doing heel tactics, working, his heel magic, trying to at least, I guess, not screw his way, but cheat his way to a championship. Didn't work. Oba Femi retained and put that dude down with that powerbomb that he does so effortlessly. It did what it needed to do. Eddie Thorpe was the pest that kept poking at the bear, and at the end, he literally got what he was asking for, which was demolished, destroyed. Bad Oba Femi. So, nothing wrong with it. Let's move on. Eddie Thorpe's out the picture. He's out the way. At least I think he's out the way. He could still be that roach that literally comes back crawling around to the title picture again, but please, just let it go. Let Oba Femi move on, and we can go to Vengeance Day with a new challenger. But, good match.
Okay, I'm going to say something controversial. All right? This should have been what Gunther versus Ilya
Dragunov.
This is what that should have been. I understand that you want to build Eddie Thorpe. He's a pest, right?
Yeah.
Treat him like he's a pest. You know what I mean? This should have been an annihilation. Eddie Thorpe, for a lot of that match, kept Oba down. And I'm like, why is Oba down?
Yeah, he's supposed to be dominant. Like
he's always been dominant. The only one who matched him was the Don.
Yep.
And so why in this match did Eddie Thorpe, for a while, keep Oba Femi down?
I guess since Oba's like the face, he's doing the face comeback thing like John Cena.
You could be a destroyer and still be a face.
Yeah, they just didn't roll with that this match, I guess.
They didn't. Just imagine if they had been a whole squash.
I would have been mad at it. Let's go home.
I would have been like, yo, not just any squash, an annihilation. He should have whooped his ass.
Yeah.
This is my honest opinion, because that's what you do to a pest, to teach him a lesson. He should have been chopping at, his chest should have been red. I know we do fake blood now. Bleed from your mouth. Throw him through the tape. They didn't do none of that. Oba was just on the floor.
Yeah, I understand the decision was kind of definitely controversial how they made Oba Femi look in this match. Because when he is a destroyer, he's like all he is about is domination, the ruler.
The ruler.
Yeah, so he should be literally showing his power, like literally the power that he has over the NXT roster. You should be showing why people should fear him as a champion. Him being down on the floor most of the match, or Eddie having control of most of the match, is just, okay, why are we supposed to be fearing Oba Femi if Eddie Thorpe is the one who's keeping him down?
His thing is that he's a pest. There's a reason he's a pest. You know what I mean? If he could have gotten the title the right way, he wouldn't have had to lie.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have needed that chair in the three-way match. You know what I mean? She shouldn't have needed to attack Oba Femi to get another match if you were that great. If you were that great. And so and this was his first title defense. He should have been the conqueror.
Yeah, definitely.
That's just my opinion. Like I said, many people, if you like the match, that's great. Of course, that's your opinion. I value your opinion. It's just, for me, I was expecting him to destroy Eddie Thorpe.
It should have been a Brock Lesnar type of match.
It should have been a Brock. He should have been hitting him against the hardest part of the ring. Because he was angry. Where the hell was that anger? I don't understand what happened to his anger. And I was just looking, I watched the match and I was just like, what happened to the Cocker? What happened to the one who destroyed Wesley when he came back? You know what I mean? You know, he ran through opponents. And then Eddie Thorpe comes in the past and then he's just buzzing and that's all you need to stay on the floor.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, I understand building Eddie Thorpe, and you know where Eddie Thorpe should be? He should be with Sean Spears. He matches that group.
Yeah, I see that.
And you build him until he gets there. You haven't built him to be here. You build him as a pest and a liar, but you haven't built him as a wrestler who needs to be on top. He's a heel. He's a coward. Why in this match was he not booked that way?
Yeah, he should have been groveling, trying to, put his hands up like, no, please stop hurting me. The little trying to get out of it and then low blow type thing. He didn't do none of that.
None of that. That's what the beginning I liked, because that's what we should have done in the beginning. He should have come out like the pest that he is. But Oba Femi should have swatted that pest. He should have he should have swatted him. But instead we had a whole 10-minute match, maybe less, maybe 7-minute match. Maybe 4 to 5 minutes of that match. Even the commercial.
He was still in charge. And I was like, what? Yeah. But then, I'm going to let it go because the right person won. Oba won, as he should have. The ruler deserves the title. And then Trick came out. And I think Trick is going to be his next challenger. And I think then he's going to go to the main roster. He should definitely dispose of Trick Williams. I'm ready. Please just end it. Let it go. Trick, go to the main roster. It's time. It's time. I feel like Trick shouldn't even need to. I feel like he didn't even need to come out and get a rematch. I just feel like he should have just let it go. It's over. Just go to the main roster.
Yeah. But I think he needs a last hurrah. This is, most of the time when you go to the main roster, the people who are going to go to the main roster, they put you over before they leave. And then they go. And they, put him with Carmelo Hayes if you want to do that. Or, put him against Carmelo Hayes if you want to do that. Or don't even touch Carmelo Hayes. Don't put him on Raw. I just have such a bad experience with people from NXT going to Raw.
That's because it gets swallowed up. The roster is so stacked that but even if they have them doing something, it's still not going to be talked about just because of CM Punk, Drew, Seth, all the people that's on there. Yeah, especially since John Cena's back, you're really not going to be talked about. Anything that you do is just it's irrelevant to what they're doing. Yeah.
But I didn't mind that though, because I feel like this is Trick's last goodbye. And instead of, he should have a good set. He did a good job. He should have, just like everyone else who was the title before him, he should have a very nice send-off. Put over Oba Femi. This one could have been competitive. This, I understand. Yeah. Being competitive. Give it your best. You're going to lose the match. And then you leave.
I just feel like...
Goodbye.
Yeah, I just feel like if they are going to, they're going to do that. But since they are going to do that, I think it's not going to be one of Oba Femi's best matches, just because Trick's not that good in the ring. Trick is you can tell Trick is limited. You can tell Trick is still learning. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I can say that he's like a one-trick pony. Yeah, he definitely still learning. Trick, I don't know. They're calling him up to the main roster, and that's cool because he'll learn from the people up there. But yeah, down here he just still seems a little green to me. It seems like Trick is still learning how to control matches, still learning how to actually call matches. And yeah, Oba Femi and him, if they're going to do that match, Oba's still kind of new to this too. So I don't know, it's going to be weird. It's who do you have call the match? You can have Trick call it, but Trick is still.
But they got to learn.
Yeah, what I would do is just go back. And
it's better for you to learn in NXT than do what happened in AEW and have Jon Moxley talk throughout the whole match to Hobbs' ear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do that in NXT.
Yeah. It's the developmental, so I understand why they're they could do that. So yeah, definitely.
But I do agree with you with Trick Williams. I think what Trick Williams has is a good character.
Definitely. The whoop that trick, the way the fans are attracted to him, and they love saying that, especially at the Royal Rumble. If he shows up, it's going to definitely be ringing throughout the arena, the whoop that trick. So yeah, he has a great character, but his in-ring skill is still desired for me.
Yeah, it has to match his character. And we're not there yet. His character work is good. I'm not gonna say it's great, but it's good enough. It might be even more better than good enough.
Yeah.
It's just that his in-ring skills are not as exciting as his character is. And I think that's where the disconnect is with him. That you expect a character who can connect so well with the fans to be able to do just as good in the ring. But that's just not what happens with Trick Williams. I'm not gonna lie. Some of the main events that he's been in, I enjoy all the pay-per-view. Then I get to the main event and I'm just not that into it. Obafemi is different because Oba's a big guy, and I feel like he's already good. He's already good, and I feel like he's just gonna get better.
Definitely get better. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then a faster pace.
One with Trick, it's like with Trick's reign, it was cool for what it was, but when I compare it to the reign before him, which was Ilya Dragunov, we had banger matches. You couldn't talk about Ilya Dragunov's reign without talking about how many great matches he had. So it's weird to look at that and then go to Trick Williams' reign and you're like,
not a lot of.
Yeah, Trick can't compare in that way, but his character work is better than his character work is better than Ilya's a little bit, but it's still like his in-ring work doesn't even come close.
Yeah. I agree. I think with Ilya, he still has to work on connecting with the fans. But his character, I actually enjoy. He loves pain.
Yeah.
I can't, I can't say I don't enjoy that character because of the love of his pain. We get to see some amazing matches.
Oh, yep. And his facial expressions, his selling, all that literally comes with the pain, like the loving pain character. You can see the pain on his face and how he just continues to fight. He just wants more of it. I love it.
It like hypes him up. It gets him excited to kick your ass. You know what I mean? I think Gunther did that to him. He broke him.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's it for NXT. Overall, if I had to give that out of 5 stars, I'll give it 2.
Like I said, I'm gonna give it a 3.8, not a 4, just a 3.8. It was close to a 4, but there was still just a lot of confusion in this episode.
Yeah, I agree. It's a lot of chaos. I just needed better in-ring work.
Yeah.
We had a lot of backstage segments that were like swooping by.
One after another, after another, after another.
And I'm like, if we had this much time for these segments, we really couldn't have had a little bit more time for the Don and Rich Holland to give that man a little bit of prop at least, But I may just be nitpicking here, but I just like good matches, good stories to go with those matches.
Yeah.
Before we go, I am gonna plug myself. TikTok is still here.
Yep.
It's still here, y'all. So if you want to find me, I'm at Rudy Peace and Love. It's right there. You can just type it in and I'll pop up and I talk about all things wrestling.
Same with me. If because TikTok is still here, and if you aren't following me yet on TikTok, then please follow me. Rolly Ray, not even Rolly Ray, it's Talking Smack with Rolly, and I do WWE content, mostly WWE content. I don't really watch AEW like that, so I can't really talk AEW, but I do WWE content, and I ask for your opinions. We just talk wrestling, have a good time, talk wrestling, and it's just a nice, community. So come join, follow me, Talking Smack with Rolling on TikTok. We still here and going strong.
That's great. That's amazing. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. And I'll see you again next week on Tuesday. I'm also going to be here tomorrow to talk about AEW.
And I'll be here on Tuesday and Monday next week. So
Peace.
Peace out.